Welcome to the Airlift Performance Garage, getting you set for your life on air. Today, we'll show you the main steps, plus tips and tricks involved in a custom Airlift Performance 3H install. 3H is our air management system that combines height and pressure sensing technology, giving you unprecedented control over your air suspension. All 3H quarter-inch or 3/8-inch kits can be ordered as a complete air management system or custom configured on our website. These kits also feature our full-color controller, integrated manifold, and robust height sensor arms. Before we get started, remember, this video is an overview and not intended to replace your manual. If you already have an air management system, you can utilize your current tank, compressor, and airlines. In our project car, we have the tank, compressors, and manifold all mounted together on a board, which will sit in the trunk. The tank placement here is great because there's easy access to the main components. Make sure your water trap is installed correctly with easy access to the drain valve and the ability to remove water from the system. We're using a dual compressor setup for faster tank recovery. Dual compressor install is made easy with our plug-and-play wiring harness, part number 27703. To help reduce noise, we use our optional compressor isolator kit, part number 50714. Mount the manifold in an acceptable orientation and securely fasten it to a flat surface. Failure to do so will prevent calibration from completing and preset maintain from operating correctly. If you need to run new airlines or want to check your current ones, be sure they avoid sharp edges, heat sources, and moving or rotating parts, using rubber grommets when passing through compartment walls. Make sure to leave enough length to route cleanly to the manifold. When it comes to cutting the airline, make sure to always use the proper tool. Side cutters can deform the airline and not give you a clean cut, causing an unwanted leak. Using an airline cutting tool will ensure that you get a proper cut. Plug the corresponding airlines into the correct ports on the manifold. Before running the wiring, disconnect the battery. Next, determine exactly how you want to run the wiring harness. After terminating the wire ends, connect the red and white striped wire into the red power wire of the compressor. Then connect the black ground wire from the harness into the black wire of the compressor, making sure you have a solid connection. Once your compressor connections are secure, you can plug the main harness into the manifold. Up front, connect the red wired fuse holder to the red power wire and attach it to the positive battery terminal. Then take the black ground wire and attach it to the negative battery terminal. Attach one end of the black wired fuse holder to a key-switched ignition power source. Then connect the pink ignition wire from the main harness to the other end. A detailed wiring diagram is available for reference in the manual. Then, insert 30-amp fuses into the red-wired weather-tight fuse holders and a 3-amp fuse into the black-wired ignition-fed fuse holder. Shifting our focus to controller installation, there's plenty of wiring available for a variety of custom mounting options. The micro USB plug securely locks into the back of the display, ensuring a stable connection while operating the vehicle. Our advanced controller design allows for vertical or horizontal hard mounting or intuitive freehand use. Moving to height sensor installation, we mount our sensor to a fabricated bracket. Find a solid mounting location on the chassis. Be sure the female sensor plug is not facing up as not to gather debris. The point on the sensor base must be directed toward the connector when the arm is mounted in mid-position. Use double-sided tape or Velcro to mock up the sensor location. Find a point where the sensor arm will be directly in line with the linkage mounting surface. Make sure the sensor is removed from obstructions and heat sources. Also ensure the sensor arm has a free range of motion. Select your desired linkage mounting point on the suspension. Then check your suspension travel at the marked mounting point by cycling the suspension all the way up and down. With that measured, check travel against the ranges in the manual. Then determine which hole to use on the sensor arm. With the lower arm mounting point determined, you may shorten the rod if needed. Make sure the sensor arm and linkage rod avoid binding and obstructions. After you have attached the linkage rod at the correct angle, cycle the suspension and double-check that suspension travel is within range according to the supplied template from the manual. Use self-tapping screws to securely fasten the sensor to your mounting location. Then route your harness and plug into the female connector. Be sure the wire has some slack and doesn't have any sharp bends. Run your sensor wiring harness back into the vehicle, then hook the lines up to their corresponding wires in the main harness. Once that is done, you can reattach the battery cable. For final verification, use the controller menu's sensor tool to ensure the height sensor is within range. That wraps up our install for today. Hopefully this overview video has given you insight as to how easy the 3H install really is. You can always find more information about all our products and locate authorized dealers at airliftperformance.com. Thank you for joining us in the Airlift Performance Garage. We hope you enjoy your life on air.